So with spreadsheets, you can do some pretty incredible things. But sometimes we have to look at is the solution benefit worth the cost of creating the solution? So let's look at something here. Here we have an input area, and people are supposed to select a fruit, and maybe they input more data. But in this part, they have a list. So we have a list of fruit in here. They can pick from these. And that is sort of like a secure list. So it's over here, but you don't want anyone to update that list. But at the same time, and you allow people to type in values. So if we come down here and type in test value, we hit enter. I've turned off up in here the error message. So you can also type in things. A little bit dangerous, but sometimes that's what you need. Now here's the thing. Any new item is automatically added to the data validation list. So you type something in, like this one, and now in any of these cells that have the same data validation settings, we go like this, we click, and then we see that new value. So let's look at it again. Let's say we go up here, we change this, and we call this, I have no idea, I Love Friday, okay? And we go to down here, and we click, and we see that it's automatically there. Now, the thing is, this can be done, and I'll show you the steps, but why not simply allow people to update the data validation list? To come in here, and this is a table, you could go to the last one, just type in a new value, and you would get that automatically. But in rare cases, there are situations where someone says, well, I don't want them to change these values, but I do want them to be able to type in new values, and then anyone using this list would then see that updated value, this new one, test value, and I Love Friday in there. So let's now look at all the necessary steps to create this solution. So number one, I always put a counter in. I don't like to use the row number function because what if someone inserts rows or columns? So that you just type that in, drag it down. So let's look at the real step one. List the typed in items. So over here, we know that these two are the ones that are typed in. Okay, so we come over here. Now, this is a long array formula, and what it's doing basically is saying we have two conditions. So we look at the area, this area back here, and we want to first say, okay, they can't be blanks. So this is a table, we highlight this, and it's got a little name, fruit selection. So we say that area can't be blank, and then what this long array formula is doing, so that's the first condition, right in here, condition number one. Condition number two, what we're actually doing, right about like that, we're using a match function, but as an array to say match all of these guys, the ones that we've in the other sheet, into this little list here. And we want to see the ones that are errors. That's why I have the isError function. So now that's going to tell us which ones are the errors. So when it's true, when both of these conditions are true, can't be blanks, and they have to be errors, right? Looking for these guys over here, and we know that we're going to get right now two errors, this one and this one, because they do not exist in this list. When that happens, when that's true, I'm getting the row numbers. So I'm getting the row numbers of back over here. So then I'm simply using the small function around the whole thing. Let's go in there, take a look. Here's the array, and now I'm just saying, okay, of all the row numbers representing the values that are not in here, give me the row numbers. So 7, 9, 11. So let's look back in here. What do we have? We have, oh, there's another one. So 7, 9, so blueberry, lime, and all of these guys, it looks like, are not in our list, and that's true. There's no blueberry, there's no lime. That's interesting. So some I even forgot about. So 7, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14. 12, kiwi and lemon, they're not there either. So all of those values are not there. We pull out the row numbers one by one. Here I'm using a simple index to show the values. Now, step two, it gets a bit interesting here. We want to combine the two lists. So basically, we want to take these guys over here. Sorry about that. My laptop froze up for a minute there. So we want to combine the lists, take all of these values, and then combine them with the ones that have been typed in, which are basically these values. So now I'm going to go back and just do something else. I'm going to take out this guy, and I'm going to take out this one. Just to see if it updates. And then maybe I'll put something new in here. Let's call it melon. And let's jump back again and see if it all updated. Okay, good, good. So we see this changed as well. Now we have 5 and 5. Let's just do one more. I'm going to say, do I have orange in there? Let's do this. Papaya. and then jump over here. So perfect. We have 5 from this list, and we have 6 up here, 5 and 6, a total of 11. So we go to this next step, and now I'm doing this formula. It's basically just an if statement. Here's our test. We're comparing the counter to how many we have in our secure list, which is 5. So if it's greater than that, then we do this offset. Else, if that's not true, we go and do that offset. So basically, it's a way of looping through these guys and getting all 5, which we get down to here. And then at this point, it's the if statement changes, and then it jumps to the other one. So we pull in these guys right there. So we see how many, and then of course how many in total. We have 11 in total, 5 plus 6. So we have 11. So what's my next step here? Create dynamic named range. So of course we want to have all of these guys in one list and attach it back to our data validation here, which I've already done, of course. So I'll show you, we go to formulas, name manager, and then I just say full list. And my offset, this is sort of that nice offset. We're not going to pull back one value. We're pulling back a range of values. I say start in G11, which is Apple, and then 0 and 0. We're not going down. We're not going to the right. But the height, which is this parameter right here, I should actually take this out of here. Copy it, click close, and I'm going to go into this cell, and I'm going to paste it. Then we can see this whole thing much easier. Because I love these little guys. I think it's a screen tip or something. Start there. Don't move at all. Height, give us 11, which is this value, and then a width, of course, it's 1. So we take that, and then we go back into here. We highlight the data, this range in our little table. There's only one column on our table. We go to data, data validation, and then we simply say in the settings equals full list. And I always say we go like this. It's always recommended to say equals, press the F3 key on the keyboard. Full list, click OK, click OK again, and now we see that we have both of the lists combined, and we go down here and we just say, well, I'm going to type coffee. Definitely not a fruit, but that's what I need some more of right now. Go like this, and there it is. So after all of this, we have to go back and think, what was the last step? Connect it, connect data validation to name range. So is it really worth it? Is the solution benefit worth the cost? An interesting requirement, but are all these steps really worth sort of keeping this little list here secure?